Hey everybody, welcome back. A little bit of extra special World of Warships this week. It's the Halloween port. Pretty neat. So if you zoom pan around here, you've got the obvious Big Skull Island there. And over here to the left, there's a Liberty ship and a wrecked triple-masted sailing ship. And then my favorite, get up here to the haunted island with the old haunted house with all the bats and crows and stuff flying around it. And the big old pumpkins up there. Pretty neat. Pretty cool. So we've got the Blade Destroyer here with Captain Helsinger. And then the Igor, the cruiser, with Captain Captain Frankenstein. Captain Einstein. And then the Jackal with Captain Hyde. The Jackal with Captain Hyde. Interesting. Very clever, boys. So I figure what I'll do here is I'll bring you guys a special and I'll do a 3-part video, one with each one of the ships. The Destroyer, the Cruiser, and the Battleship. So the point here for the challenge is... hang on. There we go. So you have to destroy these battleships that are trying to stop you from getting your ship to the port. Alright guys, so this is the one battle, like I said, where we won. Now up to this point, I think we had sailed maybe 8 or 9 times in the challenge and not completed it. So the keys that we figured out were basically like I said there at the beginning. Stay close to the Transylvania, focus fire on the catapults, and when the ships spawn in behind you, just ignore them, let them go. Just continue pressing forward to the portal. So, the way the challenge works, if you guys want to win this challenge, this is how we did it. There's something else that somebody talked about in a different battle that we nearly won, and they said if you don't go into the circle here, as soon as anyone enters this circle, the Transylvania will start moving. And as long as someone is in the circle, the Transylvania will move. Now, I'm using the battleship here, finally. And if you use the AP rounds on the battleship, you do massive damage on the catapults. And you want to destroy the catapults quickly because the catapults will do absolutely massive, catastrophic, Citadel-worthy damage to anyone else they hit. And they start you on fire at the same time. And you'll see later on what the catapults' gigantic flaming fireballs look like. But anyway, what somebody in a different battle, like the battle right before this one, we nearly won it, and someone said on the team that if you didn't sail into the circle and start the Transylvania moving forward, you could actually sail forward, engage the catapults and destroy them, and then come back and start the Transylvania sailing forward. Now, the battles here are only 20 minutes long, and I don't know if that's enough time to go destroy all the catapults and then still make it back, start the Transylvania moving, and fight the Transylvania forward. Because you've also got to fight an extremely high HP and very dangerous battleship coming up at the end, which you'll see when you get there. If you've already played this event, you know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't, I won't spoil it. Well, until it happens in this battle. So here come the enemy ships, the zombie ships. It's a Mikasa, but they're zombie Mikasas, so Zikasa. And the thing with these guys is you do not want to get too close to them because they've got a crap ton of secondaries on them that will set you on fire quickly. So in my battleship here in the Jackal, my idea and focus is the catapults. So I'm ignoring the enemy ships and letting the cruisers and destroyers deal with them. And I'm focus firing on these catapults, which you can see have 30,000 HP. However, the battleships can make very quick work of them with AP rounds. It doesn't do quite as much if you hit them with HE rounds, but watch how much damage we do here quickly with AP rounds shooting at it. Pretty big hits. And I was zoomed in and didn't quite notice I was running up on my fellow battleship here. You're limited to 2 battleships per the challenge event. And unfortunately, the Transylvania also was tracking to the right, so I kind of sandwiched my fellow Jackal in there. Sorry about that, Falcon 2v1. So I had already told the team that I would exclusively target catapults to the exclusion of all of their ship targets until the catapults were gone. So that's why I fired at that catapult there, but you can't hit it through those giant giant rib bone things that are sticking up in the air. Even right here, where I had an opening through, you'll see the shots don't make it through. And I gotta say, the artwork and the level design here is really neat. So even those shots there, some of those seem like they should have gotten through and damaged the catapult, but none of them did. So now I'm gonna wait till I get clear of the island before I try to engage again, not waste any more shots. One thing that's neat, if I do any firing on my Jackal here without being zoomed all the way in, I'm not sure I do, you can see the steampunk effects with the venting coming off the top of the gun turrets. That'll be something to watch for. I'm not sure if I take any. Probably later in the battle, I'll do some third-person type firing, and you'll see it then. But I think most of these shots I take here, I take zoomed in. So the team had finished off that last catapult there. You can see up in the upper right, or upper left, sorry. In the upper left, the primary and secondary tasks, and you can see the primary is there's 9 catapults to destroy. We want to keep the Transylvania from losing less than 50, or losing more than 50% of its HP. And there are 16 Zikasas we have to destroy, which doesn't count the ones behind us. It just, you have to get 16 of them. And then you have to stay within the circle. At least one person has to be within the circle for the Transylvania to move. If everyone leaves the circle, it'll stop. And if Zikasa ships get too close, or I believe the other enemy that's coming up, the ship will also stop. So you want to watch out for that. And I found that basically with the Jackal, if you are within 10.6 kilometers, you can shoot at the what looks like it's the ground in front of the catapult, and it will hit and do damage to the catapult. So, as you can see, not a real problem for 30,000 HP for the Jackal battleship guns with AP armor. Not a big problem at all. Now you'll notice my division mate, Zonia, which I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong. Sorry about that, dude. I'm not sure how you want that to be pronounced. Has already been team torped once here, and it ends up happening to him 3 times. And he understandably ends up pretty PO'd about it. So there are the giant flaming fireballs coming in from the catapults there. And they do, like I said, they do massive amounts of damage akin to a giant citadel. And they set you on fire at the same time. Now Grizzly Adam's up there and his blade over here to the right is charging a catapult, which is pretty suicidal, but he lucks out because it keeps firing way over the top of him. Because I think he was too close. Which was good for him, but I couldn't tell at the time, and I thought he was going to get hit by the other catapult. At least once. So I'm trying to stay within the circle to keep the Transylvania moving faster, because the more ships in the circle, the faster it goes. And at the same time, try not to let our guys take too many hits from these catapults, because I need to get to the catapults as quickly as possible to destroy them as well. And I believe, but I'm not certain, I know at least for sure some of them, the captain's names on the Zikasas are all pirates. They may not all be pirates, but I know a lot of them actually are. They may all be like famous or infamous captains of some note or some repute. But I know quite a lot of them are pirate captains from the Caribbean and the American colonies areas. And it is possible to get a citadel here with the AP rounds, although I only got a couple in the entire night. I'm not sure if anybody actually takes any massive catapult shot hits that you can see here, so you can see how much damage it does. But
target penetrated.
Maybe right here? Yeah. Okay, looks like Alpha Strike there already had his repair going, so he got hit and set on fire by the catapult, but it didn't do any damage because he hit his repair right at the right time. But they did huge amounts of damage.
Bullseye.
So there's only 2 catapults left, and I've knocked out 4 of them so far out of the ones that we've destroyed. Now, one thing our team did do a good job here was ignoring the ships that came in behind us. I had quite a few battles where we lost because someone tried to turn around and go fight off the ships that came behind us. And you basically need your entire team up towards the front to fight the last boss level enemy that comes along. And there we go. That's 9 out of 9. 9 out of 9 catapults destroyed or suppressed, and I got 6 of them myself with help from the rest of the team. And here comes the Rasputin, the boss level end enemy who comes along. And that was pretty fun to fight, actually. You really want to have at least 2 of your destroyers survive, because they can do pretty massive damage to him pretty quickly with torpedoes, as well as they can drop smoke out for the rest of the team and for the Transylvania, because he will target the Transylvania if he gets close enough to it. He'll target anything that's close to him. But he'll definitely go after the Transylvania, and he does massive amounts of damage. So I started out with HE rounds trying to get a fire going on him to try and whittle his health down, because as you can see, 200,000 HP is what Rasputin comes in with. And there's Zonia has been hit a second time by torpedoes from friendlies. So I'm still blasting away trying to get fires going on the Rasputin, who has already been set on fire by somebody else. And he's starting to do damage back to me. He's retargeting me because I'm the closest person to him right now. So I'm continuing trying to get a good fire on him, which is starting to become frustratingly not happening. And I'm taking massive hits as well. And I've got secondaries going on, a few other enemies coming in. Now, one thing you won't really be able to see here, and it's kind of unfortunate, is the roaring noise that Rasputin makes every time it fires. I wasn't really close enough in this battle, but it's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat sound effect. There'll be a point coming up where you can kind of hear it off in the background on the right-hand side. But that's it. So I switched over to AP here to try and do as much damage as possible, because I was not getting good fires started. And he starts putting serious damage into me, knocking me down to almost nothing. Now, I didn't want to do team damage to the Transylvania here, because they're trying to keep him from losing 50% of his health. So I wait until he clears, and if you notice how much health I have left, of course, Rasputin has no problems shooting through the Transylvania, and he knocks me out before, just as he was coming clear of the Transylvania, and I was going to be able to fire again. So unfortunately, that ended the battle for me in my Jackal. But we were still in pretty good shape. We got some pretty low health guys, as you can see. Two knocked out there pretty quickly from Rasputin, but we got good torpedo launch on him. And I was pretty confident at this point we were finally going to pull one off. Like I said, this is probably the 9th, 8th, maybe 10th time that I was trying this for the night. And Zonia and I had tried probably 4 out of those times too in a row. So I switched up my view to spectate on him as he's pumping his torpedoes off downrange at Rasputin, and he had very good torpedo launch. Now Transylvania stopped because an enemy got too close, not because we left out of the zone. An enemy zombie Zikasa got into our circle, but Zonia had very good torpedo launches on there and did a lot of damage and took out the Rasputin. And after the Rasputin was sunk, that was where I felt like, okay, this is it, we finally got it. All that's left is Zikasas, and they're very slow. They do a lot of damage, but they're slow, and that hiccup there was when I DVR'd with Shadowplay and then started a live recording. So it's meant to be there. I just didn't hit the buttons quite quickly enough for it to be seamless. And Zonia gets one more. Oh, never mind. Big Jim Slade got extra torpedoes there, and that was it. We won it. So poor Zonia had been torpedoed 3 times by a teammate destroyer there. But that was it. We got the Transylvania to the portal here, and we won. So it is possible. And like I said, there are two different ways you can do it between the what we did here, everybody focusing on their job, or not going into the circle until you go out and destroy some of the catapults. And you get a badge or a medal there at the end. Now, you don't get much besides money. You do actually get money for doing this. So you can see here's the score. I actually got 2 citadels. You can see here's our place. Here's everyone's kills. Not too bad. We did everything except keep the Transylvania from stopping. So it wasn't too bad. And of course, you don't get any credits, although you actually do get credits. It doesn't. You get them from completing things. So here's a shot of the Transylvania. What it looks like up close. Here's the Jackal, the battleship. Here's the Igor, the cruiser. And the Blade, the destroyer. All pretty neat and steampunky looking. So, I hope you guys liked it. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for sticking all the way around to the end. Don't forget to check out the social media links in the description. And I'll see you guys next time for more World of Warships. Thanks for stopping by.